All right, the big day has come for the Coachman. It's time to get the transmission out of it, get it over to the shop for a rebuild, and we'll get it back, put it back in. Hopefully the Coachman's all good to go. This isn't all going to happen in one video. You know, it's going to be over there for a while, but got to start somewhere. Got to get this transmission out of here. All right, I have started doing just some prep work. I just can't work in an area. I've done enough jobs over the years. I just can't be tripping and stepping over around stuff, and you know, I gotta have I gotta have a clean work area. So cleaned everything up around here, trimmed and mowed and everything. Tidied the area up. Anything left in the way is the stool, but that's gonna be okay. I can work around that. But I got some things laid out here in the garage. All right, so things we got to start with is a big drain pan. I'm going to go ahead and drain the fluid out of the transmission first. You know, typically in a garage, which this is not available, and the Coachman wouldn't fit in here anyway, so that's not an option. You know, in a regular garage where it would, transmission shop, probably, you know, nice level surface, the vehicle's raised up. They get a proper transmission jack under it, you know, get it out, lower it down nice and level and everything, and without spilling any fluid. But where we're working at, it's pretty likely that once things are unhooked, you lean the transmission a little this way, that way, or you know, fluid starts going everywhere. We're going to avoid that. I'm going to go ahead and drain the fluid out of it. This is just a big mixing tray from Lowe's, whatever. It doubles and works really well for a giant drain pan. So hopefully we can avoid making a mess doing this job. Some other basics out. This is my travel kit. I'm gonna have it underneath the Coachman with me, and pretty extensive. This particular set leans more towards sockets with a few wrenches. Other sets out there favor a nice wrench set with a fewer variety of sockets. So I wanted a nice socket set. So that's why I bought this particular set. I travel with this. I'm gonna take it underneath with me. Should save me a bunch of trips back and forth to my main toolbox, which is up front up there. And it's gonna take some. So it has some wrenches. We're gonna take this little shorty set with us. I'm gonna take my little rechargeable impact. It's not particularly powerful, but I think it's gonna come in useful. I do have air tools. I have the compressors. If I happen to go with some air tools, this is already pumped up to full pressure. We turned that on earlier. I have a 1/2-inch impact, a 3/8 impact, a 3/8 air ratchet. I do have air tools available, but we might do without. I know you're thinking, are you crazy? If you have air tools, use them, right? What else? I don't think we're gonna get through this job without at least having a pry bar along. Nice little tiny hand sledge. I don't know if that quite falls into the BFH category, but it'll come in handy if we need it. WD-40, huh? Gotta have some of that. My regular plug-in drop light. I do have rechargeable ones, but we're gonna take the plug-in underneath there. Some shop towels, surely need a couple of those. I think I got the basics to get started anyhow. Went ahead and just plugged that drop light into the side of the Coachman. Got electricity here nice and handy. It's under there. I'm gonna have to go get some cardboard too, was the other thing I got in there ready. Bring some cardboard under there I can lay on, and get those tools out here. Yes, I've been saving some cardboard lately, knowing this job is coming. I'm going to drag all that out there, and the rest of this. All right, I had to look around and laugh a little bit before I turned the camera on. I know some comments will be made about, oh, it looks so rusty under there. And well, it is in 1987. But these pipes, okay, they're not as bad as they look, okay, because actually the welds are, these are, this is not really transmission related. Okay, this is the exhaust system. These are actually the heat shields around the pipe. Actually the exhaust pipe inside still looks pretty healthy. These heat shields, I don't know. We're gonna deal with that at another time, I think. or maybe while we're under here, and once the transmission's out and it's at the shop getting rebuilt, maybe we'll have time to, while that's going on, is to maybe address some other issues. So for the record, let's look up in here a minute. Yeah, for the record, this transmission had been serviced just before I bought the Coachman. It had a fluid flush, a new filter, new fluid. I think it was in January, or it was in December, and I bought it like 3 months later. I think I bought it in March. So this transmission had just been serviced, and so I thought it was good to go for a while. It should have been good to go for a long time, you'd think, because it only has 62,000 miles on it these days. But for just being serviced, if it had the pan removed, whatever kind of shop did it, it appears to be leaking. See all those drops on the bottom of the pan? It appears to be leaking from yeah, the back. How well can we see that? You know, the rear of the pan. It's not coming from up front. The further up you go, the drier it is. So that gasket, they didn't get the good gasket seal the whole way around. But anyway, this has got to come off, completely off, and then I'll end up having to put it back on and probably just snug the bolts all back in it, because the will support the transmission from right under the pan, so it needs to be back in place to let it down out. So we're gonna get this fluid out of here. Oops, sorry about banging your head. So, all right. And you can see we got a couple things. The coolant lines up here. Okay, those coolant lines. This vacuum hose. There's not a lot. This really isn't that complicated of a job. It's really not. We basically have those two things. There might be something else, but those to deal with on this side of the transmission. The other side is going to have the shift linkage from the you know, the shifter. You put it in park or put it in gear, and it might have a plug, an electronic one. It might have one plug. The wire needs unplugged, and then the drive shaft will have to come out. Other than that, it's gonna up front. There's a guard on there. That's to come off. The torque converter needs unbolted, and then the transmission mounting bolts. So we can let the transmission back and down out. So it's not terribly complicated. Look at the smoke coming off my drop light. It's not terribly complicated, but oh, the other thing on this side too is the filler tube, the dipstick tube. You see that runs up a bigger tube that runs up. So where you check your fluid, and that's another thing. You pull that out. once you pull that out and the drive shaft out, well, anytime you start moving the transmission, letting it down, if you tilt it one way or the other, you know, fluid just starts pouring all over the place and makes a dang mess of things. So that's why I want to go ahead and drain it. I want to minimize the mess. I do not want transmission fluid all over the ground, all over myself, all over my tools. And then when I transport the thing, well, we'll get to that. All right, I'm gonna reach over here on the far side. I put you guys over there. You guys can actually see better than I can. I'm going to, oops, I should have brought a container to put these in. I'm gonna go ahead and get these ones out of the far side. I can just feel where they're at here. Okay. See how handy this tool comes in. I don't think messing around. It's certainly strong enough to remove pan bolts. Is it starting to seep or leak on that side over there? I can't see it. I don't see no dripping yet, so. Alright, this will, we'll get one more back here. And, alright. Hang on, I'm gonna get something, put these bolts in. I'll be right back. You see that? And it begins. Ugh. And the drop tiles, like I say, gonna need those. I picked up a 2-pack of those rolls a couple weeks ago. I knew this was coming. I'm gonna leave these 2 in the front for right now, and probably just leave. So probably same thing. Probably just one. Probably 1 in the back. Probably gonna skip 1 for right now. All right, we got 1 in the back. Gonna take these other ones out. This little Black & Decker thing is actually more powerful than you might think. It actually took the lug nuts off of my Maverick when I had it. A little 1971 Maverick. All right, these I'm just gonna loosen a little bit. I'm gonna leave them in. All right. Oh no! Get the thing! Ah! I should have been more ready. I should have been more. And oh, what was I thinking? I really thought that gasket. A lot of times the gaskets will stick. You actually have to stick a thing in and to get it to let loose and separate. Yeah, that's why I bought this this thing. You have to wedge that in and kind of pry on it to get the thing to. Well, I should have known. The fact that it was leaking should have told me it wasn't a good seal. Now, I got that under there pretty quick, and we are working right on the dirt. So, boy, that's kind of, dang it. Hang on a second. Dang it, man, dang it. We're going to try not to swear or use any cuss words during this project. We're going to try not to bust any knuckles or bleed or throw any tools. We're going to try to refrain from all that behavior and injury. Dang it. All right, now. I can't believe that happened. Can you? Some pro I am, huh? Can't believe it. All right, now I gotta take those bolts out the rest of the way, and I'm not gonna put my tool under there to get transmission fluid in the electric motor. So I'm gonna have to grab something here. I might as well get another paper towel ready. This isn't gonna be real pretty. All right, let me get a couple. Let's see here. Ooh, I'm gonna see if I can get this one out first. All right, got the pan under there good. So if you take this job on yourself, take the realize what I just did there, and don't do what I did. Okay. Oh boy, this pan better be ready. When I take this bolt out, that pan's gonna be heavy, but still has lots of fluid in it. They do sell. Too bad these transmission pans don't have. Oh man, this could be dangerous. Drain plugs in them. I know they sell aftermarket ones that I could buy a whole new pan. Easy does it. Easy. Easy. Here comes some of that. Okay. Well, I didn't get two. I mean, now when I start loosening that back one up, oh, see, I could do this and make a wave. I'll put it up and then suddenly let it down. It creates a wave in there. You see the potential for, I mean, you see how much is still in this pan, you know, probably still up to here. Oh man, how am I going to do this carefully and get that one bolt out? I'm probably have to move you guys out of the way. I don't want to get you guys dirty, and I don't want to ruin my GoPro with transmission fluid. All right. Good grief. We all see. Okay. This is gonna be. Gosh, I don't like this. This is potentially the most messiest part. This might not go good. let me get my ratchet. Because the pan's leaning, there's a little bit of tension on that bolt. And of course, now I'm getting transmission fluid on this tool. Oh man, I don't know how to do this. It's getting lighter. It's just gonna be where I'm gonna have to like hold it up, take that bolt out, drop my wrench, grab it with both hands. Yeah, that fluid does not look, it's supposed to be a nice red color. You know. Alright, we're gonna try this. Alright, oh boy, come on. I gotta get a little bit more out of it. You watch that last bolt's gonna be holding by a thread and then just let loose. Just come fly. Oh no. Alright, here we're just gonna go for it. Alright. Let's get that bolt out of here. Let's just go for it. Come on. Come on out of there. Before my arm gets sore. Too tired. Come on. There it is. There it is. We're just gonna put that pan in there. Okay. Yeah, let's say that gasket. It's just falling off. Alright. Gasket's off. Okay, I wish it would have stayed. And these filters, they just float. They're not meant to be tight. Oops. Although I think it was on that tube. Because on this O-ring thing, and then they're just meant to be kind of float like that. I don't know if you can see all of that. Let's let me put this last bolt down, wipe up, and regroup. Step one is like complete. It is time to stop for a minute. Wait, is that both a little bit of transmission fluid? Overall, it could have been so much worse. Oh well, no grass is gonna grow there for a while. Well, like we gotta worry about it. Nothing grows underneath the coachman anyway. It'll take some time for that to go away, dissipate. It's time to stop because obviously this was the messiest. Hopefully this was the messiest part of the job. I'm gonna say one of two things happened here. One of two. Either the previous owner was charged for that transmission flush job, and it never happened, which I doubt it. I know there's crooks out there, but no, what probably happened was it was just time. All that contamination, it's all black. It's got the particles or that gray. People like to call them shavings. It's actually more of a paste. It's that is all that gray stuff. That's probably all not clutch or band. Clutches or bands or whatever. Friction discs are what they are actually called inside an automatic transmission. That is the material from them that is, it's just left go. It's the friction disc are kind of liquefied. Yeah, not even close to being a reddish. That's all that gray stuff is that friction plate, friction disc material. So just all of a sudden the transmission said, I'm done. I'm just gonna internally disintegrate. But I need to get this pan cleaned up. The reason we're stopping is we're gonna get this mess out of the way and cleaned up. If we just continued on, we just went ahead and moved on to the drive shaft and this and that. You know what? My hands are oily. A couple of tools, my ratchet got oily. Yeah, I just keep transferring that mess through every step of the job, and it's like the mess just grows and spreads. I'm gonna get this pan cleaned up and set aside for now. I'm not so much worried about the inside. I'm just gonna clean it up so if I have to handle it, I just don't keep getting myself and my tools all dirty. What is this? There's like an indent. I was thinking for a minute, I think that's a magnetic thing made into the pan to help collect metallic particles. And I seen the thing inside. I'm thinking, wait, was there a plug on that I missed? And no, it's just an indentation. However they stamped or formed or however they did that. Anyway, yeah, I gotta get some things cleaned up here. Now, somewhere in the garage, and I know exactly where it's at, I have a parts washer brush. I'm not gonna get that fussy though. You know, pump some gasoline out of the coachman. Yeah, open the old valve. Turn on the switch. This is where I put them bolts at. Hey, if you're ever low on gas, it's not hard to get gas out of the coachman. Don't try it though. You'll set off the bell alarm, which if I'm not already alerted, I will be pretty quickly. Don't try it. Don't be coming and stealing my gas. As easy as it is. So I'm gonna use some of this gas and I clean my bolts off. Just gonna get a rag and kind of slop up the outside of that pan to get the majority of the oil off there, and the gasket. I'm gonna clean that gasket up a little bit too. I might actually put a little bit of Permatex back on it just to hold it in place while I put. Not that I'm trying to reseal the pan, just to act as a glue to help hold the gasket in place while I put it. I know I can probably just put it back on without the gasket. It's going to the transmission shop to be rebuilt. But I'll probably put it on anyway. Oops, let's open the valve. I want a little bit more. I need a little bit more in here. Got my own fuel pumping station. I have filled up my lawn tractor. This way too. Yeah, into the, you know, I don't want to keep transferring this oily mess from tool to tool. Things should get less oily as we go. They'll still be greasy and grind to deal with, but just transferring transmission fluid just everywhere is. I'm gonna try to nip that. I'm gonna try to nip that one. All right, I missed that. Gasoline makes a good weed killer too. Yeah, we're just gonna kind of slop it down and, for the most part, get it degreased. Ooh, look at that. Hoo-wee. That's all. I just kind of want the outside cleaned up. I won't get as dirty putting it on, and my tools won't. And we're probably gonna have to go get a special transmission jack. All right, I have. Back in the day, me and a buddy has struggled with a regular little floor jack and tried to balance it on there, and you know, get the job done. It's a struggle. It's a fight, but I might just go spend the money at Harbor Freight and get a cheap transmission jack. Should probably wipe this top surface off too, since I'm gonna try to stick a gasket to it. Yuck. What a job. You really just try to, it's a dirty job, and you know, you can try to minimize it. This, like I say, this is the worst of it. Let's get this gasket. Get this rubber, a pure rubber gasket. All right. I'll probably give this surface. I need to get some more tiles, dry that off good, and this gasket, and find some gasket sealer and try to get some adhesion to hold it in place. Just long enough I can get the thing put back up there. I know I shouldn't bother. Just put the pan on without the gasket, Dave. Right? Why am I messing? Why do I even do that? Why would I? They're just gonna take it to the transmission shop and yank it all apart. It'll get a brand new gasket. So why do I do these things? And all right. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, we're gonna get this wrapped up here. I already got my bolts clean. I do have this cleaned up. Wiped it with a got another batch of, dumped out the old gas and got another fresh batch and better cleaned up that surface. I know some of you are gonna, I know I'm already getting criticisms for doing this, and that's okay. You know what? You fix your vehicle your way, I'll fix my vehicle my way, and we'll just get on with life, right? So oh, that is rubber and cork. I thought it was just, you know, pure rubber. It's a rubber cork compound. Pan's cleaned up good enough. I'm gonna get this cleaned up. We'll get that pan on there, get this cleaned up. I gotta deal with this. That's gonna get recycled. Don't know what else to do with it. I got some jugs. Just have to be careful with the funnel and get that dealt with, disposed of properly. I didn't mess up my cardboard tube. Yeah, we got only a little bit of transmission fluid on the end. Probably just flip that over when we resume. Let's go in here a minute. Let's go. I washed my bolts all off with gas and blew them off with the compressed air, with the air compressor. And I was looking, okay, do I even have some gasket sealer? And look at this mess. An old Snap-on box, a Kennedy VersaCart with the side thing on here. I'm thinking, got little side drawers. I got digging around in there, and look what I found. A nice brand new tube of JB Weld silicone. JB Weld brand. It's just RTV silicone. I got away from using silicone. Don't worry about that for right now. And I thought, oh yeah, guess what else I have here? From these come from Summit Racing. These are those new copper. Whoops. Yeah, I need to get organized in here. Copper embossed exhaust manifold gaskets. I got these brand new, 2 brand new exhaust manifolds. Yeah, don't worry. I haven't forgot about that job. Okay, it's all opened up. Got my bolts. Let's do this. I know this is probably actually, maybe I'm having a little bit of fun drawing this part of it, because just to avoid getting back underneath there again. This is the easy part when you're outside working on something. It's a pain in the butt when you're under it. This would be good practice, and I don't get to do this too often. I like doing gaskets. And this might come in useful for somebody that was going to do their own, say they were going to change their own, you know, fluid and filter. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of how I do gaskets. And I've really gotten away from using silicone, because over time, you know, depending on the quality of the silicone and the what it's being used for, especially when around it's more critical to go around the inside of the bolt holes than it is. See, I started going around the inside. I started on the outside. See, I'm out of practice. See, but it doesn't matter, because we just put a thin layer. You don't want to overdo it, which I might have a little bit. I've seen silicone deteriorate, start coming out the side, swelling, coming out the sides. You end up with a leak anyway. It might be okay to use as a short-term fix if it's something you're maybe gonna take apart again anytime soon, or sometime down the road. You plan on it anyway. But long term, I've gotten in the habit. I really like using Permatex. I think it's, well, there's there's so many, we'll call it flavors, varieties for different applications nowadays. It used to just be like Permatex #1 and Permatex #2. One was hardening, one was non-hardening. Probably something like this, like whether it's something that contained oil, whether it's a transmission pan, oil pan, valve covers, that sort of thing. Probably used the non-hardening. I don't know. But yeah, I favor the Permatex products more than silicone. Silicone has a, yeah. So, and I probably did overdo it a little bit here. You know, I just want to be carefully. Why did I do this good of a job for something that's just going to come back apart at the transmission shop? Maybe for the benefit of a couple of you out there that might say, "Oh, yeah, that's why." Where is my towels? All right, I'm back. So, yeah, that's why I'm doing this. And I'm taking a break from underneath. So, so where's the gasket? Oh, down here. Where's the cutout corner? Goes here. Is that how this goes? I think it goes this way. Yeah. All right. So whether you're using silicone or Permatex or your product of choice, it should be nice and tacky and sticky, that it holds it all in place. Just makes life easier. You're not trying to put it together and it's getting it up there in a hard place to reach, and the gasket comes out or goes in and you don't even have the gasket in right and you got a major leak. So I kind of get the holes all lined up, and trouble is this is a used gasket, so it's kind of swelled. It has absorbed, it's been through a lot of heat cycles, and it has absorbed a certain amount of transmission fluid. And then it's more critical that you use it on the pan side like we are here than what you're bolting it to, which is typically is a nice flat machine surface, although you can. And I will sometimes put actually a very thin layer on this side of the gasket. I think we're not gonna do that. Okay? I've already overkilled it and messing around here. Let's get it on and move on with this job, huh? Something else about some gaskets, every so many holes, once you get down a couple, some will be like the right size at the bolt goes through. Some will be a little bit tight, and sometimes that's intentional so that you can put your bolt through. There's actually some interference that it will actually hold the bolt in place for you. That's why some are smaller. You force it and kind of gently force it through that hole, and then it holds the bolt in place for you while you get the thing up. So they usually do that like every so often, so everything's all held in place nice while you don't need a third hand that way. And some of these I stuck in just the fact, got a little race truck, and the only reason this gasket's not that way, the only reason these are staying in is because this is swelled, this gasket, and it's wanting to kind of walk its way out and push. Okay, doesn't want to stay in place. So, and I've actually kind of helped to do that even a little bit more. But I put a couple bolts in and went ahead and kind of pushed the gasket against it, so it'll hold some of those in. Anyway, we're gonna get under there here in a second. All right, let me mention this real quick too before I forget. The reason I said about, you don't want to use excess gasket sealer, RTV silicone stuff, or probably any other. There's a good reason for that. If you use excess, when you tighten things down, it can squeeze out in a blob. You can get blobs just hanging. They can let loose and they can get in the system, and they can clog things up and cause a big problem. So don't ever use it in excess. Just a nice, nice thin uniform layer the whole way around is plenty. So it's definitely a case where more is not better. All right, I needed 2 hands to do that, so I forgot to turn the camera on first. I switched to this tool. I just switched to my little cordless screw thing, and I because I just want to run these up there gently. That even that other little impact, it runs them up. You know, if you're not careful with it, it runs them up pretty dang tight. It'll over tighten them. So again, I'm just kind of keeping in mind the procedure, general procedure, if you were doing this for real, you know, doing a fluid filter change. So, you know, these only need, you know, these do not need to be very tight. I'm not going to look up the, you know, they're called out in inch pounds. So, so I don't know what the torque spec is, and I'm not going to look, but really, this is only on setting. This has a clutch on it. Settings, you know, 1 through 10, which 10 is direct drive. There's no clutching. I only have it on 1, and I mean, it probably doesn't need to go much more than just contacting and a little bit of pressure. Yeah, start it straight, Dave. All right. All right, I'm going to move on to, I guess this vacuum hose, that really just got to be popped off, and somewhere there's going to be a bracket that holds the metal line in place that runs up there somewhere. And I want to get the transmission cooler lines off of it. Those look pretty dry. I'm going to maybe give those a shot of, not WD-40. I mean, WD-40 is better than nothing. But I think I got some PB Blaster in there. Gonna spray that on those. And you really need a line wrench to do these if you don't want to round them off if they're a little bit too stubborn, or you really don't. You really want to avoid messing those lines up if you can avoid it. Soak them, use a line wrench, and keep your fingers crossed. And then up above, this dipstick tube goes up, and I know there's a bracket. I think you can see it there. Yeah, where it's bolted the transmission. I'll go ahead and take that first transmission bolt out, just so that I can get the dipstick out, and then we'll get to the other bolts as we go. But that one needs to go ahead and come out. So I'll pretty much take care of this side of the transmission. Dipstick tube, coolant lines, and the vacuum modulator hose. And then I'll probably move back. We'll either go do the other side. Like I said, I think just the shifter and maybe one wire is over on that side. And we're gonna have to deal with this cross member and the drive shaft. That's probably not the ideal wrench set to have on this job. But it can come in handy if you don't have a full set of wrenches here before you make a trip in. Okay. It could help to save you a trip. You can verify what size. You just use them as gauges to verify what size it is. So you need 11/16 to hold the outer the fitting that goes in the transmission. Okay, that's gonna be 11/16. I'll grab that one might work for just holding it. I might grab a longer one while I'm in there, and then I don't know if that's a 1/2 inch. That's gonna be. I hope I have a 1/2 inch line wrench. Yes. Okay. I'll go look for it anyway. And get some PB Blaster. 11/16 and 1/2 inch. You would think among all my automotive products here, and believe me, it's like 3 or 4 deep back in there, I would have some PB Blaster. Hang on. Oh wait, I know what's at. It's either mine or my buddy's. I forgot I seen him over here earlier. Alright, good old PB Blaster since 1957. And nope, not wrenches. What's missing in this big gap? What was here? What is that? You got a line wrench in here or not? These were all better organized at one time. Okay, there's a line wrench. Wrong size. We got a 3/8 and 7/16. For doing a brake job, no doubt. Those are common sizes for brake lines. I don't think They're all metric back there. Those are all the bigger ones. Need to get the 11/16 here. These are kind of the not quite so big. They're not quite so big ones. All right, where is it? It's probably this bent one. It's 11/16. We'll take it. We might be out of luck with a half-inch line wrench. How can I not have a half-inch line wrench? How's that possible? All right, see what happens. Oops. Hang on, everybody. You're on the cardboard now with me. So hang on there. Let's not be afraid to spray some of this stuff on there. Let's get it on there. I'm not looking for a good drink. Oh yeah. And, we'll let that soak a minute or two, or 5. All right. I think we'll be able to see that. And now that I got a real wrench, maybe you can have better luck with this. Let me see what I can do here. Let me see. I might not even have to hold that first fitting. We're gonna give this a little. Oh, it moves good, and the other part didn't. Okay, we need to work this back and forth a little bit. Oh, good, it came loose from the line. Okay, that one's gonna be a go, and I'm gonna have to go get my smaller drain pan. Hopefully this one will break loose too. Looks like I'm blocking everybody's light, and come on, let's have some success. Okay, it moved. I mean, I might work it back and forth a little bit. Oh, good, that one broke. Okay, we are set. Let me go get my little drain pan, because there's some fluid's gonna at least drip on it. All right, I got my little drain pan, and now that they're broke loose, I could probably just use my little wrench now. After all, sometimes they're nice to once something's already broke loose, like with a real wrench. they're kind of handy because they're just easy to maneuver around in confined spaces. So I don't think anything's really going to come pouring out of here. I'd be surprised if it did. Get a little bit of dripping. But we're going to lower these lines a little bit here in a moment. Okay, I got one that loose. Oh! Alright, I gotta move you guys back a little bit, I think. Alright, and probably be even less out of this one. Hard to say. Never know all the little channels and passages and things in something like an automatic transmission. Lots of them. One, two. Okay. All right, let's get down out of here for a minute. Okay, while we're right here, I already pulled this vacuum hose off the vacuum modulator, and the dipstick tube is right here. Those have to come out too, and that just sticks in. It just goes down in an O-ring and seals, and that's it. So that just pulls off. That'll just pull out. I just noticed this goes over, and then up alongside the dipstick tube. They're side by side right here. They have a little clamp hold them together, and then they both are held on by that clamp right there that goes to one of the bolts that holds the transmission to the engine. So while we're right here, and I can reach it, we'll go ahead and take that one bolt out, and then we can get these the dipstick tube and the vacuum line off of this, and that should wrap up this side of the transmission really. Other than coming back later and we'll remove the rest of the transmission mounting bolts. There's one there, there's one there, and then we'll have to probably go up top. We'll work our way around, get the others out later, but I need to go ahead and get that one out of here for now. So, and that's a little bigger bolt. Now we're going to upsize our tooling a little bit, go with a 1/2-inch drive. We're going to need a little bit more power probably to break that loose. Looks like a 9/16 bolt head to me. So a 9/16 1/2-inch drive, 9/16 socket, and ratchet. So let's get that thing out of there. And here, okay, and the thing is about these Class A's, typically on a car or a pickup truck, you'd have to be doing everything from underneath here and reaching up in. And what's nice about these Class A's is I might not even have to take the dog box off up top. What's nice about these Class A's is you can come in from the side. Just a second. All right, I'm gonna have to move my light. And you can come up right here. Just reaching in from the wheel well over top the frame. Oh yeah. All right. Just spin that out the rest of the way by hand. Now, I might have to chase those up top, or maybe not. Oh no, that should be pretty good. All right, I'm back down here with you guys now. I think all we have to do... Right, come on guys, come on, I need some room to work here. All right, where is it? Yeah, this just, the tube just goes down into the transmission. Should be just an O-ring in there. You should be able to pop that up without too much problem. Come on up. Come on. Come on. Come on. Oh, this is actually more than a O-ring. That's a pretty healthy rubber grommet. Like a rubber bushing. A little more to that than I've seen them that had no rubber thing at all. There was just an O-ring on the outside of the dipstick tube. So this is actually the first Turbo Hydro 400 transmission I've done. I've done the Ford C6, so very, very similar. A Ford C4. I forget what it was now. Something in a older Buick Skylark, the late '60s Buick Skylark. Yeah, that helps a lot of friends out in various vehicles. That's it. The vacuum thing, the dipstick, those lines. I will have to get those lines out of the way. I don't want to bend a you-know-what out of them when it comes time to drop the transmission. But they're pretty easy to get out of the way. What I'm gonna maybe do is, I think I can, there's enough movement in these lines, because the next bracket is up there pretty far, and there's a lot of flex available here. I might just like bungee these lines right to this pipe, and this exhaust pipe. I think there's gonna be plenty of room then to get the transmission down out without accidentally catching on them or bending them. Yeah. But for now, they're not hurting anything. We've got things loose. We'll go, I'd say we got a couple, I think at least just two things pretty easy on the other side. And we're going to be moving to the back. We're just going to work our way around, I guess, to the front. I'll get ahead of myself here. While we're right here again, there's this whole this shield. It keeps debris and rocks from getting up in your flywheel or your flex plate and you know, torque converter area from up front. So this this whole guard needs to come off. There's a it's a 10mm head. There's that. Okay, there's one there, and there's two across the bottom. It's here. It is. Where is it? There it is. Okay. And there's another one right over there. All right, and then on up the other side. So it's way up in there. So we're gonna get this tin off while we're here, and probably gonna get the torque converter bolts off, and then go over there, take care of them couple of things. I guess probably just that linkage there. Yeah, we'll get back to that. All right, yeah, I got that first one out up there. Went over and got the other one up on that corner, and of course it snapped off. And it's just, you know, if you've seen the type of screw they use to put that in, and it's not the end of the world. I'm probably not even gonna, when we put this shield back on, you know, if 3 out of 4 bolts works, that's just the way it's gonna fly. What do you see? They kind of use these weird screws into an aluminum housing. Well, really? Why would you? And the two, you know, the other one was pretty tight too, but they're up in a drier, hotter atmosphere because of the exhaust and stuff. These down here downwards kind of more oily. I did get that one out. I had to be careful with it. I had to work it back and forth a little bit. These two here are no problem. Uh-oh. Oops, took the last one out, and it's gonna come down and get us. There you go. Hang there a second until I put these bolts down. Okay, let's get this. Let's get this thing there. That's the cutout for the starter. There's that goes around the, you know, up in there. We can get this guy out of the way for now. Let's put it right. Let's put it right there. So what do we got here? Oh my! What do we got here? What's them? All right. Oh boy, there's a torque converter bolt. So there should be 4 of those. We need to get them loose, and then because when the transmission's loose, the torque converter needs to come back with it. So we need to unbolt it from the flywheel. Oh, hey! Before I forget, I kind of forgot at the moment I was recording, but those transmission coolant lines, I will need to flush that. I will need to flush those. You know, one's like one's a supply, one's a return. I'm gonna have to blow. See what the best way is to at least blow that system out. Maybe run some kind of solvent through in that. But that part of the system is going to need flushed out. I will get to that. All right. It's going to be a little bit tricky. I've had luck. Every ones I've ever done, a little technique I've kind of always had luck on. Like just using a wrench and a hammer. But actually, there might only be 3 of those. I don't know what I was thinking 4. I think there's only 3 go around there. Maybe it depends on the make and model. Ford, GM, Dodge. You know, they could vary. This one may only have 3 on it. All right, so you can use the wrench. Let me put this down a minute. I think we'll see. You get the idea. The bolts go through the flywheel from the engine side into the torque converter. All right, you get that, and there it is up in there. Let me put you. Let's go over here a minute. Okay. So I'll get the wrench up on one. I mean, what I've done is, you gotta watch how you do this. But it's always worked for me. And after if I get a pry bar up there and spin the engine, or go up and put a socket up on the front. You know, got a second set of hands here. That'd be easier on the up in the front of the crank on the harmonic balancer to turn the engine over to get to the next bolt. But what I've done is, you can put it on there, you can turn the engine over. Just because, you know, take it easy, because you are fighting the compression. But it bleeds down. So you just go a little bit, then go a little bit more, and it'll give it a couple seconds. You can work it around. But if you get one over, that's what I'm going to work with. But you have to get over far enough that you're able to reach the next one. Okay, we want to have access to this next one. I probably could pull that starter off there. It's not necessary, but let's see what happens. If I can break that, as long as I've turned this one over far enough that the next one gets, because once I loosen that and take it out, I can't turn the engine over anymore. So if I did it here, it would be, how am I going to reach the other ones? So I grab a bolt, I get it over here until the next one comes into view, or make sure I can access it. All right, so what I'm going to do is go back to this one. Like I said, this is the one I'm working on. I'm going to put that wrench on there. Now, because putting pressure on it turns the engine, what it needs is, instead of that slow push, hang on, let me set you guys up here, okay? That's why I'm going to use that hammer. It just needs a little bit of impact action, and it should break loose. So it's worked every time for me so far. Watch it make a liar out of me. It's like, yeah, sure you did that, Dave. Let me get this on here. Let me get this on here. Okay. Hold that on there and give this thing a couple of right, put your pin loose. All right, let me see here. Oh, she's loose. And then I'm still able to get to the next one. Let me get this one spun out. It should come out pretty easy once it's broke loose. All right, and, yeah, they're just short bolts. It's only going through a thin flex plate and then to the. All right, let's go. So let me put it down. And, hopefully they all go this well. Hang on. All right. Like I said, I want to get this next one. It's just out of view. Yeah, you seen where it was at. It's up here. So I'm gonna just gentle so the engine turns. It takes a. You might have to throw an extra grunt in there. Just kind of go around. See what I'm doing? Let's just kind of work the engine around. Give it a second to let compression kind of bleed off the cylinders as you're going. Now let's get it over. Now we want to just get it over far enough too, so that next one comes into view. Yeah, I'm sure there's only 3 of them. These are spaced too far apart. Yeah, so I can get to this one up here now. Do I need to prop you guys up a little bit more? Let me do that. Hang on. I mean, this is for the benefit of, I know some of you just like me, just like to watch me working on stuff. But it's more for the benefit of people that actually needs information to do. They're actually going to take this job on. Okay, it's up there. Can you see that? Okay. Where is it? See, it's up there just in view. That's all I need. If I can reach it with the wrench, I can go ahead and take that one I just moved over there. I can go ahead and take that one out. So we'll just do the same thing. We're gonna get the wrench on there. We're gonna give it some little bit of hammer time. Yeah. Just needs a little bit of impact action. Not too bad either. Not a whole lot. It's broke. It's loose. Just usually a turn or 2 or 3. I kind of got it with. I got my one hand up there because I kind of guide it back on. It's off. Help it on. It's off. Help it on. See, that's that magic finger that helps put the wrench back on every time quickly. Magic finger. So let's get that. Should be loose enough to take out the rest of the way. Just with these other fingers. Now mechanics, a lot of people might not know this about mechanics and the contortions and the talents that their fingers have developed over the years. Might be going there. I know where some of you are going with that. Let's try to behave. Let's behave on this channel. So I think we're down to this last one. I'm gonna grab it over here. Is this off camera again? Oh, it's barely in the screen, isn't it? But the lighting is poor, Dave. Okay. See? I'm giving us some light, Dave. You wanna? Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like that. At least I don't have it up to my elbows and all over the dang place. Let's just confirm. I know there's like 3 in this. Let's run this way over. That hole should be here. That bolt's gone. So we already took. That was the first one. So we're taking this is number 3 of 3. One more time. A little bit of impact. I knew we bought that. What is it? It's an SBFH, okay? Yeah, SBFH. I knew we'd need that somewhere along the line. See, I have done this once or twice. All right, so now, guess what's gonna happen? The torque converter should, I think, be able to move backwards slightly away from that. It wasn't much. Did you hear it? See, he'll go. See, now it's left loose of that. There's only a little bit of play. It's on the you know, the pilot shaft or whatever, primary shaft or whatever you call that shaft that comes on transmission. So that part's done. We've gotten this side, everything off the passenger side of the vehicle. We've got the cover off of it. We've got the torque converter loose. Bolts totally removed from that. We just gotta do a little bit over here, and really this pole front, the engine compartment hole, that's kind of done. That's done. Everything else will be back on that, taking the drive shaft off, and then the cross member. So we will work back to that. Let's just finish this little bit up over here, and we'll keep moving along. Now, did I put you guys in a bad spot? Wait, let me get over there. You guys went and ran over there over top of me. I can't see what you're seeing. What are you guys even looking at? This other old heat shield. See, both sides are like that. I'm gonna have to do something with all that mess. We need to pump you guys up higher, up into here. All right, right now. What did I say? Oh yeah, the speedometer cable. That's gotta be. That's what I forgot. Oh, is that old Lily slimy? What's going on here? What's happening here? Oh, that's weird. It's just all flopping around. It's like it's on an extension. There's a wire. It must be some kind of, maybe it has to do with the cruise control. But yeah, I don't know. It's like on an extension. It does screw into the side of the. I have to. This probably just. I think I just unthreads. I'll have to get channel locks to grab that slimy old thing and get the speedometer cable out of it. There it is, and I can feel here's just one wire up here, plugs in right here. I wonder if that just. Oh, that was easy enough. No, that was right here. Okay, so that was right behind the shifter. And that just unplugs. I'll have to. There's a little clamp up there. We'll have to get that off of there so it releases from the transmission. I gotta get over here better. And then, because I think we need channel locks to get the speedometer cable off. And the shifter just has this cotter pin, and I gotta pull that cotter pin out. Because suck with PB Blaster and probably work. It's probably all rusted in there. And then this should just slide out of this fork thing. So when you shift it, it goes. Okay. I've had it neutral for quite a while. All right. I think we have a better view of things here. That thing that was plugged in, you see that? I forget what that is. I knew, but now, because I got so much good on my head, it doesn't really matter. Okay, yeah, it plugs back in. I forget what it does, but it needs to be there. That might have to do with the kickdown. I don't know if there's a throttle position sensor thing. That might be what that is. That just plugs on. And this clamp one up there, there's a nut up there, there's a 5/6 somewhere up there, right here. There's a 5/16 wrench goes on that, 5/16 hex. The other part was this, has this type of a clip on there. We're gonna pop that off somehow. I think I got a, where is it? We just got some channel locks. I think I can just pop that. Maybe just kind of give that little pop, and I'll come up off here. So that should be easy enough to just give that little pop here somehow. There we go. Just needs a little help. I can just reach up there to grab it from the top and just pull the rest of the way off there. But, you just need a little help to get started. Now we can grab it from the top and just pull that out of there. And be careful not to lose that guy. This should just maybe bang out of here, or not. Kind of starts getting in an angle, gets in a bind. Maybe we put it in different gear. It'll just have more freedom of movement. Let's do that. Oh yeah. So we get that out of there. That is now free. And now it's just without that. Same thing. We're gonna do what we got to get this wire out of the way. We don't want to rip it off when we lower the transmission. We don't want to bend or we don't want to bend this thing either. So we'll figure. Oh, and once it hooks out, obviously once you take it out of there, the whole thing will slide out of its bracket, apparently. So I don't know what that is. Something got tangled and caught up there. So there's just a hole, a bracket, the hole that goes in up there. But that got out of the way pretty easily and nicely, right? Our light went flying, so we're free there. So we've come around the front with the torque roller. We took that off. We took that wire off, and the bracket. We're back now down to this speedometer cable. All right, and it is a type of extension or an add-on, by the way. This does just screw on here. So what it was is the original. There's that little component with a wire hanging out of it. Boy, that's dirty as could be. But up here is the end that it would have originally screwed onto the transmission. It's probably models without cruise control. So they added this section on here that has this module, some kind of sensor with an electronic thing with the wires coming out of it, and it's an extension and goes on here. So this whole like section here must be for models with cruise control. We'll do a little adjusting with the light. So this is just, yeah, these just if I should get them started, they're pretty come off pretty easy. Okay. Ooh, yep, we got a couple drops on it. Got a couple drops coming out of that. But that's just like a hex or a three-sided or four-sided goes in there. That kind of keys it so your transmission's good. It spins the speedometer and stuff up above. So that should be plenty easy to get out of the way. Ooh, almost too easy. I just stuck it up there for now. I mean, we're really coming down the home stretch as far as all the components up front. Anything up front, for that matter. We're down to, in the back here, this cross member and the drive shaft. The drive shaft. Alright. Alright, guys, come on out of there. You've been working hard enough. Time for a break, alright? Come on out of there. Maybe we should get some lunch or something, huh? Wash up a little. Put these tools away. We're pretty much done with these. Kind of clean this mess up from the front part. Wash up. Start focus on that little bit that's left in the back. Alright. Okay, we still have that tool set under there, and that's okay. We're gonna need that. But we have everything out from under there. Alright, and got this little mess to deal with. I'm actually gonna do a preliminary wash up, get something to drink, then come out and deal with this mess a little bit and get this back under control and ready for the next part. I think it's time to flip the cardboard over. We still managed to not make too terrible of a mess. The ground is a little bit damp. That there is just water from the ground. We gotta have a little bit of rain. Okay, we've come all the way here into the back, and I know because it's so bright outside, it's getting darker over here. Here, maybe we can do this to. Okay, see up there's the back of the transmission. There's that cross member that goes over one side to the other. If there's a point in this project that I break out the air tools, it might be to deal with that cross member. Possibly not. We're gonna wait till we get up there. But we've come all the way back to the drive shaft. Yeah, it comes out the back of the transmission. And it's a two-piece drive shaft that it comes back to this carrier bearing, which also has a heat shield on each side because the muffler, there's exhaust pipes are here, and this thing really has a lot of heat shields. Anyway, I gotta get up and but anyway, the second part Now this separates right here. There's a spline. Here's where the second part begins. To see it right here. There's a grease fitting that greases that spline. These can kind of move on each other. Designed that way. So we have a universal joint here. And oh, there is one at the front of that one. It starts with the universal joint up there. It comes back to the spline, and then another universal joint at the beginning of this drive shaft, where this goes all the way to the back. Let me turn around. And actually doing with drive shafts is not bad at all. These are just these 4 bolts. Hold it on, and we'll get this, and then we can pry this actually forward. It has to come out of these little saddles on each side. We'll get that out of there, and then we can drop it down and pull it off the first section. And we're gonna go put this in the garage for now. But yeah, these are so these are pretty easy to deal with. Usually a couple of bumps, and away they go. All right, so you see, they're yeah, pretty easy. Let me get this top one off, and then let me get this top one off, and then we'll finish up on the bottom one. All right, I already have the top one off. Just spin this one off here real quick. These could possibly be the original universal joints in this RV. 62,000 miles. These are going to get inspected closely, and some of you probably say, just while it's off, put new joints in it. And we might. We probably should. We're going to have a close look at these and give them a really close inspection, because if they are show any signs of you know, going bad inside, they will absolutely get replaced. If they're still looking healthy, they might not. And here's where that pry bar can probably going to come in handy. Sometimes these will come right out, but they usually need a little nudge. Yeah, this is going to need a little nudge. It just pulls away from that. We're going to put this pry bar right behind it here and give it a little nudge out. There we go. And we're going to be careful. We don't want to. These caps can come off. See how those rotate? Well, it feels good and smooth. That's good. Doesn't feel sloppy. It's a good sign. Let me pull this forward some more so we can. There we go. It's got a good enough room to. Oh, hang on here a minute. All right. You know what's happened is the other cap stuck in there. Well, I hope I didn't lose any little needle bearings out of it. I'll have to get that. A minute. All right, so here's the front U-joint. I got you see I got the back is loose. This should just pull off of here without too much trouble. There we go, come on. Sometimes there's some suction because there should be grease in there. Uh-oh, is there a retaining clip on that? Is that a column? All right. What I might do is just go ahead and take the 2 bolts out of the carrier bearing, and we'll just take the whole drive shaft in as one piece, get it in on the table in there, and just have a better better look at what's going on here. All right, this is gonna come crashing down on my head or smash the camera. I already got this this bolt out. This is that slot up there. I took that bolt out. This carrier rest. So this thing's just hanging. It's just hanging by one bolt. This whole drive shaft assembly is gonna come flying out of here. I gotta figure out how to kind of get out of the way, and I don't want to draw any blood today. I should do. Maybe I can hold it. Maybe this wrench will stay up on that nut. Okay, by itself. And then maybe I can hold it up while I get this off. See, notice that I hit it. Did it? What happened? Did it come off completely? Did it? No, the wrench fell off. Alright, what do you hold this wrench up here? Or hold this drive shaft, and I'll or hold this up here and push this button. Oh boy. Now. Alright, now it didn't hit me, it didn't hit you. It's down. Alright, I'm gonna put this heat shield nut back on here, so I don't want to lose anything right now. It's just what we're gonna do with it for the moment. No, we're not. No, we're not. We're gonna put this up here like this. Okay, I'm gonna put the nut on it, and we're just gonna thread it in by one thread. Okay. There. I know exactly where they are when I need them. Right where they're supposed to be. Okay. Alright, something like, oop, right. Go in there. Go up there. I did the other one wrong. Alright, now we get this, hopefully it just pulls out of the transmission. Well, I'll know in a second. Come on, come on. I wonder if it has one of them yokes on it like the rear end does. I wonder if that's bolted on up there, or if it's just on a spline. Okay, we gotta go up and take a closer look at that one. Maybe I should have looked at that closer. Like I said, this is the first Turbo 400 of them, and I have seen this style before, but previous transmissions that I have done have had the spline type that just pull, once the back part of it's loose, this just pulls out, but this is not that way. We'll have to unhook it here, just like we did back on the rear differential, and then we'll have the drive shaft out. And then we'll be down to this cross member. Alright, the clamps are off, we're hanging by a thread. I gotta grab this end, let it down the rest of the way, and kind of drag this whole thing out, and I'll meet you in the garage. Whew! Alright, this job's going on, it's over 3 hours. It's easily over 3 hours. A lot of the stuff got edited out. Hopefully the video is less than 1 hour. I don't know. I have no idea what this video, where we're at right now after by the time I edit all this. I didn't think it was all going to get into one video. I'm going to have to pause here. I'll show you this drive shaft thing. Something real quick about this drive shaft here. It's out on the table. That really is like, that's all the, I don't know what to call those, the peripheral, the externals, the all the outside components and everything. All that is left is that cross member, and that is mainly bolts in each end of the cross member onto the frame, and then the one in the center for the transmission mount. That cross member, I have to jack up the back of the transmission and get that cross member out of there. And well, I'll have to get on to Harbor Freight. I'm gonna buy a transmission jack. It's the easier way, it's the safer way, it's just a better way. I'm gonna go buy a transmission jack, and then after this job, I'll probably never need it again. I'll probably put it on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace and just sell it, but I do need it for this job. So that's probably where we're gonna pick up the next video. Again, hang in there for a minute here, don't leave it yet. So we're gonna go and get that jack. I'm gonna get that cross member out because I have to support it, get that cross member out of there, and finish taking the bolts that bolts the, there's 5 of them. We took the one out. And take out the bolts that hold the transmission to the engine, and that's it. Just bump it back a little bit off the 2 dowel pins that align it, and let her down, and then take it over to the transmission shop. So that's where the next video is probably just going to be, and that, obviously it'll probably be a shorter video than this one was. I am pleased, even though it's all dirty and crusty looking. I am pleased. I did pull one of these off, and you know, it looks really good. It doesn't look like it's ever been without grease. They're nice and smooth. I can pull one off. Yeah, there's grease in there, and you know, all the rollers are present. And I got grease. You know, there's never been a vibration. The Coachman's always run really smooth. You gotta watch out, make sure these go on the whole way. Sometimes one of them needle bearings can kind of fall out and get trapped underneath in the bottom of the cap, and then this doesn't go back. They don't go back on the whole way. This is a set distance across here from end to end that has to fall between the tangs and the yoke when we put it back in. These have to be right. I will have to clean up the externals. You know, some of it was mounted in the yoke and some of it was clamped on. But these will have to be the yoke, the little cradles that these sit in on the yoke. That needs to be good and clean. These need to be good and clean when this goes back, when this is all reassembled. This one I'm not going to take it apart to inspect it. It does have a grease fitting down in there. I'm thinking if that one was greased, and I've also looked at the back one, and this one was greased. I had one of the ends off, this one here. It's nice and smooth, looks good inside. It's been kept greased, so I'm not going to worry about this one. And the carrier bearing felt good, nothing sloppy or, you know, a bunch of play there or anything going on. The Coachman's never had a vibration to it, so we're probably just going to be careful with these. What I needed to do, I couldn't find my duct tape. And just so one of these don't come off and you drop it in the dirt and a bunch of grit, you know, contaminants get inside, you don't want that happening. So in the meantime, it's going to be sitting around for a handful of days. Just to be safe, I should wrap a duct tape around there. You know, these two are trapped with these clips. That's not going anywhere. But I should wrap like duct tape. I'll go look for it more. Get duct tape wrapped around each end of these, and they'll be safe. And then I'll still give them all, once I have it all back together, I'll still give those all another bump of grease, fresh grease in there. So we're going to call this drive shaft. It's just fine. Nothing needs done there. Anyway, it might be a day or two before I get down to get that transmission jack and get back here and finish this. A family matter popped up. Some of you patrons know what's going on there. That's going to tie me up for a day or two. And then we'll get on with the rest of this, the next step in this. And then we'll have a break while that's out at the shop. Until we get it back rebuilt and ready to go back in. So in the meantime, excuse me. Whew, thanks for hanging out with me today. It has warmed up. It's like I am ready. I'm going to wash up again. Wash up good this time. Got the mess cleaned up out there. I got the tools all put back in here. For now. For now, I've picked up everything. Just a couple things. This afternoon, this evening. Well, it's already well into the afternoon. I'm going to put the drop light away and close that compartment. I got to deal with that. A couple things here. But for the most part, we're cleaned up for the day. We didn't do too bad. We lost a little bit of transmission fluid up there. I'm happy. That's all the worse it was. Again, thanks for hanging out with us today and finally getting to this job. We'll be back soon. I'll see you.